after leaving the plant?
Yeah, that was the first time that I'd ever encountered working people speaking up for themselves and having other people like the union looking out for you. You know, I'd never experienced that in the workforce because I'd usually done waitress work or factories that didn't have a union, and they could fire you at will. Excuse me, because I remember after that I went to work in the paper cup factory for the Maryland Cup Company. And, and they forced us to work 6 days a week. And then they began in the summertime when the cups were, more in demand, they wanted us to work on Sunday. So I worked a few Sundays, and then I told them that I didn't want to work anymore on Sundays because I wanted to get out and go to the parks and hear the music, and stuff. And this little guy that was he wasn't more than 17 years old, that was in charge of us. He said, well, we'll see about that when I said that I wasn't going to. So the woman next to me was from North Carolina, and she ran one machine, I ran the other. So I said, well, I'll stay out if you stay out, because I said I have to have some help. I can't stay out by myself. So we made it up that we was going to stay out, and we did. And we thought when we came back on Monday we'd be fired, but they didn't fire us because I think we were just too good at what we did, And it was a sweat box. It was literally a sweat box.
There.
Oh, God, it was bad.
So was people said. I didn't work there.
And we tried to get a union in there, and they had a meeting at my apartment over on St. Paul Street where we passed today, close a block or two from there. And if they saw you talking to anybody when you came out of the plant, if they saw you taking literature, they would fire you. So I told them that I would talk to them, but I couldn't talk to them there. So we met at my apartment, and I don't know, they hadn't got a union in when I left, but I don't know if they ever did or not. So. But, I was thinking back about the old days when I worked at Continental, and you worked your 5 days a week, and if you worked overtime, you got paid, extra. And they didn't pay you very much extra at all for working 6 or 7 days a week. So I was glad to get out of there.
I guess that is a new experience when you see people working together and what the difference can make when everybody really sticks together.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went back, started going on these tours, where we sang for all kinds of different people. And they were having, the coal miners were having a convention, and they were also having, like, the different coal miners get up and speak. And I remember how excited I got when I heard these people with these real Southern accents, people like we grew up with, getting up there on that podium and talking about their lives and how difficult it was to work in the mines, and when the safety features in there was almost non-existent because the people in charge of the safety were bought off, and they'd get up there talking about how it was working in the mines and sticking up for themselves. And I got real excited about that because you can get very beaten down if you are working jobs, from hand to mouth, and you can't get ahead. A lot of people that move to the city is like that. It's just like from hand to mouth, and they think they're going to strike it rich, but they don't, and they get stuck and can't move back. Some of them go back every weekend if it's close enough, but sometimes they can't. Sometimes they don't even get to go back except on vacation, or if ever. I know some of my people hardly ever get to go back, but they talk about it, but they don't. But anyway. So.
You've been gone, so now, Val, this must really be home to you more than the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
She still likes to go back.
Oh, I still like to go back.
In fact, we've been planning.
We planning on going down there. Y'all
pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, we're going down there pretty soon. I hope to see you down there.
Yeah, good. Well, did the container plant stay union until the time you
Oh
retired?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That,
Till they,
that might have been what did them in. I think it probably was what did them in because they wouldn't give in.
Oh yeah, they stayed union till
Very end.
yeah, to the very end.
Well, some of your, you seem to have taken this experience and written some real union organizing or fighting sort of songs. Think of Harlan.
Oh, for Harlan County, yeah. Yeah, I was commissioned to write the ending song for that film, and it's the first time that I'd ever been commissioned to write a song like that, and I wasn't even sure I could do it. And so they brought me up to New York to view it, the roughs that they didn't have it edited, and so I looked at it, and we made notes, and they said take it back and write a song, and told me what kind of a song they wanted, and so I did, and then it inspired me to write others. And I guess the first one that I wrote was Black Lung, which I wrote for my oldest brother that died of black lung, and people like him, and a few others, that it really inspired me to write. Being involved, with the workforce, from that end of it, really encouraged me to, to be able to think about things in that light. Before I didn't have, you might think about, but you didn't speak out, So it really helped me a lot to be involved with the union and in getting that feedback and that backup, I guess. Or, I think a lot of people feel these things a lot of times, but they, unless they have the support, they don't really bring it out. If you're sitting and talking to them on a one-to-one, they might speak about it. Because I know my brother-in-law back home was like that, and because he and I used to sit and talk a lot about the mines, but he'd say, but I can't talk about that because I might get fired. And so, when you're involved in a union, they back you up. You can say anything you want to say, bring up any grievance that you want to. So we're both strong union people.
Family of strong union people.
I think so.
Well, I think we'd be in better shape if we had more.
I think we would too.
Well, that's great. Should we get a little shots through the fence?
They're just going to do that.
More out of focus.
Okay. We're gonna get a shot of what isn't there anymore.
In the basement, they had these great big cans. You've been in markets where they have the big cans of beans and pickles and stuff. And I was so little, I didn't weigh as much as I weigh now. And I'll tell you, to keep that line down just about killed me. And sometimes they fell off and then went in the floor. Because see, you had to put them in boxes, in these big cardboard boxes. But that was only for a short while.
And then you went to another line.
To another job.
Mm-hmm. Did you do different jobs throughout the years, Val?
Oh yeah.
They moved
But
you around.
but my last job I done was working on the beer cans. And when they come out, it'd be 1,000 or more in your face, and hot cans. You had to use
It'd be
gloves.
hot. You'd have to wear gloves.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you started out as a rapper, though.
Oh yeah.
didn't you?
I started out as a rapper. I never did run the coders like you. I never
Yeah.
could keep up.
Well, I could keep up if I didn't. I had a lot. I couldn't do what she did because I would never be able to keep up with that. It required you having very strong arms and back and shoulders, and but the others you could take out a few at a time, but you had to have good hand movement, dexterity, because you roll them down. You've seen people do cards like that. You did can lids like that, and you looked at the the coating around where it seals them, that's what you are looking for, breaks in that.
That inspecting must be hard to do. I mean, hour after hour to,
And you
to
can't
stay
get everything,
focused
yeah.
on it.
You're bound to let some things go. Because that coating that they have on the inside of the cans, you're not supposed to have any scratches on that. It'll spoil the food.
Huh.
Yeah.
How long did you work at the Maryland
Maryland
Cup?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I worked about as long as I did at Continental or longer. And I just tell you the truth, I can't remember. I blotted all that out of my, it wasn't a nice experience. But a friend of mine was the one who talked me into quitting there. And then I went into sales work. Got a job as sales work.
Is there a song, Factory Girls?
Yeah, yeah, there is a song.